in Kendall. So he'll give us some competition at the tackle position. And other than that, I thought the scrimmage was, we got a lot of good work done, a lot of different situations. I thought the guys competed well, but certainly we got a long way to go, really everywhere. But it's kind of like, man, you get exposed in different areas. You have to get exposed in different areas and things of that nature to really get better. So from that perspective, it's good. It's a good thing. Questions?
Do you have any sense, this is like the fourth guy that's retired this offseason, young guys. Do you sense a trend here, or is this just kind of a coincidental thing going on in camp?
Yeah, I don't. I know why you're asking it. I mean, because it is the obvious, but I just feel like it's it's everybody's different, and look, it's not for everybody. It's not. There's not everything's easy about it, and it's not just about football. So, look, I wish him the best of luck, and he's a great kid. He was a grinder. He worked, and so, man, on with the next endeavor.
Just to follow up on that, I think everybody agrees that love for the game, that's one of the hardest things to figure out. Some of that sort of thing. Is there anything that you can do differently in the evaluation process, or will there be something that you look at to sort of figure that out? I mean, I don't think you guys didn't have that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the minute we had the first one back in the spring, I mean, Brad was already looking at those things. So that's something that Brad's always real critical about for himself, no different than we are as coaches as it pertains to the football side. So, yeah, we're gonna look at everything. Believe me, he's looking at things I wouldn't even think about looking at to dig as deep as we can dig, and where do we get to where maybe we don't have this issue or limit it. Now, I'll say this: 3 of the 4, man, they were, from the time they got here, you'd have never guessed it. Something like this. And it doesn't mean to each his own, and everybody's different, but I mean, these guys did everything right, man. They worked hard, man. And it just, they felt like it wasn't for them. All good.
Zane obviously wasn't out there Saturday. Jeff Okuda's another guy who wasn't. What's going on with Jeff right now? Okuda?
Yeah, we were just giving him a day off.
How does he look right now versus before the injury? I know you weren't with him a lot.
He looks good. The physical side of everything he's doing is good. I mean, he looks good. He's come back. Like, we have no concern about the Achilles. Physically he looks great. He needs reps. He needs reps. He needs to play. I mean, that's the thing that we can never lose sight of. I mean, he's going into year 3, and he really hasn't played. I mean, he just hasn't had significant playing time. So he just needs reps. But physically, he's doing good. He's working at it. He wants it. And, so we're just trying to be smart with him. But he should be back out there today.
What did you see from Demetrius Taylor? A guy we haven't talked about a lot, but it seems like almost every day he's in the backfield or makes a play here, there, kind of splashes. Just what you've seen from him through the first week and a half of camp.
Yeah, it's what you see every day. He makes a play, or 2. Just every day he does something to where he flashes. He gets under guys. He plays with really good leverage. He's strong. He's stout. He's got a quick first step, and so he's a nuisance. He's a nuisance for those guys on offense. Now there's some things in the scrimmage, where he got moved a little bit in some of these double teams, which is where he's going to have to, that's going to be an area of where he's going to have to really try to anchor in there, and he's got to be perfect on those things because he's not a huge guy. But I tell you what, somebody that maximizes everything he's got, it's him.
The preseason, the 3-game preseason last year, wondering what you learned about the routine of how to get your guys reps through that, and maybe how you're approaching this week with what kind of exposure you're going to give your starters.
Yeah, I'd like to. I talked to Arthur Smith. I know they're playing their starters early in this game, and I'd already thought that was the way I wanted to go too. So I'd like to get our starters some reps in this game. Maybe a quarter, and. Because there again, you just can't mimic game speed and game intensity, and the only way to get ready for a season is to simulate that intensity. And so, but at the same time, I want to be smart too, and so we're going to meet as a staff tomorrow night and really go through this and talk about it. But my intentions are to do that right now. Ham, hold on, I'm sorry, 1 second, because I know you were asking.
Yeah, no, sorry. Just how does the approach change with this being a game week? Do you try to simulate anything for the regular season? Does the practice change at all?
No, it won't. It's a good question because for us, it's still about us. And we're really not even going to worry about Atlanta until the day before. And it'll be more of, jog through mode. Here's what Atlanta does. We rep our guys. But everything up until the day before the game is about Detroit versus Detroit. So we're in camp. We got to get better at what we do and still compete against each other. Corey, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, we're under a lot of media scrutiny around this time nationally, and now tomorrow's going to be the first episode of Hard Knocks. How do you feel about the perception of you changing when now that everybody's going to get a real look at you and how you're changing the culture of the team?
Yeah, I'm not even worried about it. I'm not worried about Hard Knocks. I'm not worried about winning Hard Knocks. I'm just worried about trying to get this team better and see if we can win some games here, which is the whole point of this.
What have you seen in Jared Davis? A guy who started his career here. What's he look like for you?
He's a pro. He's a pro's pro is what he is, man. He does everything right. He does everything you ask him to do. And you would think he's a second-year player by the way he comes in and handles his business, if that makes any sense. Like, he's got the hunger, and he just wants more. Like, give me all I'll take anything you got, Shep. I'll take anything you got, AG. Anything that he still believes he can get better from the mental side of the game. And then, obviously, he has played. So, which we kind of had an idea. It was, all right, well, there's JD. Here we are, we're in shells, and now all of a sudden the pads come on and he comes to life, which we all kind of figured was going to happen. That's his domain, and that's when he really shows up. So he's a pro's pro, and he's working and competing in the room with the rest of those guys.
Dan, we saw Jamaal Williams be like a really good locker room guy for you guys last year. It seems like this year he's really stepped into more of a vocal leadership role. At least that's our perception from us on the team. What sort of development have you seen from Jamaal in that regard when it comes to leadership and stuff? Yeah,
well, look, I would say this. First of all, he understands what winning is about. He came from a program that has won a lot of football games in Green Bay. Man, those are the facts. The other is he's a very competitive. He's very competitive. He's very emotional. Not in a bad way, but and his teammates feed off of him. He's really an energizer bunny for our team. He gets us going. He does offensively, but as the team as well. And I would say what you see is the fact that now he's a year into the program, and the guys know him well. He knows the guys well, and so he's very comfortable now. He did some last year, but now he's truly like embedded in this locker room, and so that's really where you see the transformation taking place.
How are you viewing the battle with the kickers with Riley and Austin?
Yeah, look, I thought they both did a good job, but I felt really good about Seibert. I feel like he's just, right now, if you're asking me today, he's a tick better. And I thought he did a hell of a job in there, just kicking. His kickoffs were outstanding, and now that being said, Patterson's still now banging away. It's not like he's not in there, and we still got a long camp to go. So Patterson's doing a good job, but I really like what Seibert shot.
More to Malcolm Rodriguez and pads and different things that have happened. Have you seen him continue to progress, or you see him get knocked back?
No, he's progressing. What you see is what you see. He is progressing. Every day he gets a little bit better, and his awareness and his instincts. He was already a physical guy, but he runs well. But his awareness and instincts for a rookie is pretty good, and he's just every day he gets a little bit better.
Do you look for those things when you're talking about rookies to see as things get tougher if they're keeping up?
Absolutely, And look, it goes without saying, if you've got the talent, and the work ethic, and then you've got a higher level of the awareness and the football intelligence, you can grow pretty fast in this league, just like St. Brown did last year. He's a good example of that. So we'll see where it goes. I don't know where it goes, but I know this: every day he's gotten better and better, and he's pushing to now take more of some of these reps against the ones, just to see where he's at.
With the kicking battle, Dan, how do you, fraction out that pie in terms of field goal kicking and kickoffs? It looks like you're going to have your kickers be doing the kickoff this year. So what emphasis do you put on those areas as you're kind of making that decision?
Yeah, it's a good question. I could sit in here for about 30 minutes and we could talk about. They're both vital. They're both vital. You know, I mean, look, one of the areas to be able to on kickoffs to depth, hang time, and pinpoint right or left really helps your kickoff team immensely. But at the same token, you also want to know 3 seconds left in the game, you're down by 2, that guy's going to be able to nail it. So I think there's a little bit of it's all encompassing. You know, now here's what we do know. We do know we have a punter that can kick off. He's got the leg. He did it for us last year. And so at least we've got a little insurance right there. So I guess I'm just going round and round, but I think it's got to be who's the guy that's going to help us seal the game, kicking field goals. You know, when it comes time to get 3, and we know he's going to make those kicks, that's what you're looking for.
Cyber does have, I think, noticeably a little bit more power. We saw that last year. We've seen it this year, both in kickoffs and field goals. I mean, how much of a factor is it to know that, like, if you need that 60-yarder at the end of the half or the end of the game, to know he can get it there?
Well, it's a great feeling. Sorry to shut you off, but it's a great feeling because, look, we're constantly talking about offense. We get in those end-of-game situations. Hey, we got to get to the 35. We got to get to the 30. Well, if you knew, hey, it's one thing to say, hey, he's pretty good even at 40, which that's a long kick, man, 58, but yet he's pretty good at 40. Or, man, if we can get to the 42, 43, he's got a chance to swing away and give us a chance. It does make life a little bit easier, you know. Now, let me say this about Patterson, man. If you get inside of 50 yards, that kid is golden. I mean, he just doesn't miss. So there's some comfort in that too, you know.
Thank you.